Do you ever feel stuck trying to make changes in your life? Like no matter how hard you try, nothing sticks. Let me tell you something. Real change doesn't happen all at once. It happens one small habit, one good decision at a time. In today's episode of Road to Kingdom, we're talking about how tiny changes can lead to massive transformation. I'll share practical steps to get you on the right track, so you don't want to miss. This might just change your life. Welcome to the Road to Kingdom podcast, the place for men who seek to live with purpose and leave a legacy. Today, we're talking about transforming your life by changing your habits. Now, I know change can feel huge, right? Like, where do I even start? But here's the key. It doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen all at once. Real change happens one good decision at a time. And if you think about it, everything you don't like about your life right now is because of all the bad choices that you've made that have added up to what you have. What if we did the opposite to make good decisions and create the life that you desire? So today, we're going to break it down. We're going to make it real practical and look at what the Bible says about this as well. Have you ever set a big goal or tried to completely change your life only to feel stuck or frustrated when it didn't work? Maybe it was a New Year's resolution or a personal promise, like I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to pray more, or I'm finally going to save some money. But after a few weeks or days, you hit a wall and it felt impossible to stick with it. Sound familiar? That's because change isn't about making one big leap. It's about taking small, consistent steps in the right direction. In his book, Atomic Habits, James Clear breaks this down perfectly. He says, you do not rise to the level of your goals, but fall to the level of your systems. In other words, it's not just about making changes, it's about building small habits that lead to big results over time. If you can improve by just 1% every day, you'll end up 30% better at the end of the year. That's a powerful change with small, consistent action, one day at a time. The Bible talks about the same principle in Zechariah 4:10. It says, do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. God's not looking for you to make one giant leap to perfection. He's celebrating the small, faithful steps you take in the right direction. Think about that. It's not about getting everything right all at once. It's about making one good decision at a time. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to get it all right today. Just take the next step. When I decided to become a student of Jesus and begin to follow him, I knew I had to take a real look at my life and begin to change my habits. I decided to get rid of all my music because of all the messaging in my music was negative and destructive. So I replaced my music for sermons and worship. Every day I chose to listen to something that would challenge me and help me grow. And at first, I didn't feel the difference. But over time, that habit grew. That small decision led me to bigger changes in my mindset. So my priorities began to change. And even how I treated people around me changed. One good decision at a time changed the course of my life. So how do you start changing your habits? Let's break it down into 3 steps. First, start small and be specific. James Clear says, make it easy to do what is right and hard to do what is wrong. For example, if you want to start praying every day, don't tell yourself, I'll pray more. Instead, commit to praying for 1 minute every morning before you check your phone. That's a specific, actionable habit. Second, stack your habits. Habit stacking is about pairing a new habit with an existing one, with something you already do. For example, after brushing your teeth, you might take 30 seconds to thank God for 3 things. This makes it easier to remember and build on that habit. Third, celebrate the small wins. Don't wait to celebrate until you've watched the end goal. I still struggle with this today. I have to regularly remind myself and give myself permission to celebrate the small wins. So give yourself permission to celebrate your small victories today. It honors God when you love yourself, because after all, God created you. And as a dad, I know I love seeing my children feel good about themselves and celebrating victories along with them. Now, here's a pro tip. When you are able to celebrate yourself, it also makes it easier to celebrate others. So be intentional and celebrate the fact that you showed up today. You read the verse, you made the call, went to the gym, or chose water over soda. Celebrate those small victories because they prove that you're moving in the right direction. And if you skip a day or make a wrong decision, so what? Don't punish yourself and throw away your progress. Just start again the next day. It's important that you allow God's grace for yourself. So that way you don't begin to believe that you can't do it, which will reinforce the belief that it's not possible for you to change, or that you are a failure, which is worse. And it's not true. Let me tell you today, you got this. This is bigger than self-help. It's about letting God work in the small things. In Philippians 2:13, it says, "For it is God who works in you to will and to act in order to fulfill his good purpose." When you take even the smallest steps, God is right there. He's working with you and alongside you, and he's working through you. So here's my challenge for you this week. Choose one habit you want to start. Not 10, not 5, just one. Maybe it's spending 2 minutes in prayer, drinking more water, or reading a Bible verse a day. Whatever it is, choose something and make it specific and small enough to stick with it. Then write it down. Seriously, grab a piece of paper and write it down. Or open up your phones and get your note app and write down this habit. Finally, tell someone about it. Accountability is such a powerful tool. This podcast is a result of me telling people I was going to do it. After telling many people, there was no going back. I had to press record and get it done. Remember, you don't have to change everything today. Just make one good decision at a time to change your life. Today, it might be drinking water. Next month, it could be that you're deciding to get healthier and stronger. Let me leave you with this. The small steps you take today are planting seeds for the life you want tomorrow. Don't despise those small beginnings. God sees them. He's with you and he rejoices every step forward. So go out there and start small. Thanks for hanging out with me today on the Road to Kingdom. If this episode helped you in any way, share it with a friend who could use some encouragement. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss next week's episode, where we'll talk about how to turn setbacks into setups for success. Until then, make good decisions and trust the process.